Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sandra K. And I came here in 1992, and I met Mary at a psychic fair, because I used to go around all the psychic fairs because the great intuitive. Yeah, well, anyways, on the way there to the show, I fell up the stairs. I fall upstairs more than I ever fall downstairs. So I rammed my finger into the wall. And so I get to this conference, and my finger is this big around, and it's purple. Looks like that hat. And I run into this lady because I can't sit there, and she had just gotten into Young Living. And she bought this suitcase of oils. And I walked up to her, wow, this is cool. So anyway, she put some pain away on my finger. And I went down and sat down, and I went, wow, that stuff really works. So anyways, the bottom line of the story, we got involved, and she told me about she was having this conference here, and so of course I came. And when I came all by myself, there was a lot of people. We were all camping here, okay? And so I brought my tent, and unbeknownst to me, foolishly, I didn't take the tent out and look at it, and I only had 3 legs instead of 4. So what do? Well, one of the good guys came over, and he made a teepee for me. So I ended up sitting in the teepee having tea with Vicky. I met Vicky. She came in my little tent with her, and I forget her name. Beverly, that's what her name. And we had tea. They welcomed me to the land and the party, and we all became family, close family, ever since. Well, Mary opened up a whole new world to me with a lot of different people from all over the world, and I was a holistic practitioner who worked in the psychic world and who did a little of this and a little of that, and was just myself because, well, I live over in Pontiac. I don't know if any of you all know where Pontiac is. It's kind of northeast, a little bit north and east of here. We're kind of almost on the same lines. And I know Mary has the pyramid here, but I live by a dam. In fact, my house sits here, and the park's here, the dam's here, the river's there, and the pond's here. And so I have swans and ducks and everything here. But I got to thinking about this dam. Well, I found out because somebody drowned right there by the dam that when the water shoots out, it goes straight down 12 feet. So that inquisitive mind went, well, where does that go? Because the wings of the butterfly can help manipulate the frequencies of the world. It isn't the big things, it's the little things that work. So I was looking at the water, and I decided I'm going to go look on the map. Where does that water go? Well, because of where we sit here on Michigan, the very tip top of the Michigan here is the northern polar cap, okay? So our polar cap is right here. Well, then I looked, well, where is it on the other side? Well, it's right straight through the earth then, and it comes up into the Indian Ocean. The Indian, native, not American Indians, the Indians from India, became friends of mine, good friends of mine, and I learned a lot through that. But I saw where it came up, and it comes up just like us, just below the southern polar cap. And I went, well, how interesting. That frequency from here goes all the way to the other side of the earth. Interesting. Well, what does that mean? The engineering part of my brain went, whoa, we got a stabilizer bar here. We can create a stabilizing bar. Well, what does that mean? All the stuff they're doing up here, when you have a stabilizing bar, that's going to stop them from going, and they can't do it anymore. So even though we don't notice, and a lot of what we hear on TV ain't true anyways, they want to keep your brain off of what's really going on, you know. Just remember this. We're all addicts. You think we are. Did you know that cell phones, cocaine, and sugar all hit the same pleasure planes in your brain? Think about that. So the whole world, if you don't use cocaine, your sugar and cell phone, you're like a coke addict, people. You are addicted to that phone. It is judging you. It's separating you. It's separating you from your partner, your kids, and everybody else, because there's nobody communicating anymore. So they're separating you. Even though I won't go in my car without my cell phone, because it's like, I'd rather have that than my spare tire with the world the way it is. Okay? But just remember this. If they can come in at you, you can go back at them. You're not powerless. Intention is a powerful atomic bomb. It is my intention to what? Be unhappy the way they want you unhappy, separate you from your loved ones so nobody takes care of anybody? Huh? Did you know that when you are on your cell phone, you got your head bowed? Did you know when your head is bowed, you are in submissive mood? Let us pray. Bow your heads. Put your hands together. Bow your heads. Put your hands on your cell phone. Same difference. Meridians together. They have control. And you're wondering why you feel like crap. But what comes in you can shoot back. Don't think you are powerless, because you are not. It's amazing what you can do, okay? That what you concentrate on is something that is going to come to you. So, once I started learning these little things, I started going, oh, if you can do this, then I can do that. I might be little, but I'm no dummy. Just remember, an atom is very tiny and very powerful. So you have a lot of power, but we give it away. You know, people can heal thyself. You've heard of spontaneous healings. Well, the cells just take orders. They don't make no decisions about nothing. Your intention, your genetic intentions, but that's programmed. Just remember, you're no different than that cell phone, because what? You're acting like grandpa? Oh, well, why are you acting like grandpa? I don't know. Did you know that, and I heard this from Tao. Where is he? That you are a makeup of all your generations, every from your great-great-grandparent. For the right side is your father's side, the left side is your mother's side. And so you are going through the traumas or dramas or the good times. Well, it depends on your choice. So, going back to the dam. Damn. That's what a lot of us want to say lately. Damn, what's going on? Okay, the dam. With that water going straight down, I'm thinking, okay, land of intention, here we come. So I was watching one day. It was February. Everything was froze, just about. Okay, because picture this. I have the pond, they have the dam, and then you have the rushing waters. Well, excuse me, I decided to look and I watched, and there was these three huge. They were as big around as this tent. Three big round circles coming, water frequency coming up, because I could tell the way it was froze that it was coming up. I went, whoa, weird. 3 triangle. What does that mean? It's amazing what you can get out of Google. Where's my? Well, 3 triangles, 3 circles in a triangle. That's the Shiva. You know what the Shiva is? Shiva, the root means, and because understand this is the one thing, because I'm a Scorpio. I'm the one that can go, and there's part of me that can do that. But I had to learn to be a nice guy. That's what my lesson is here this time, to be a nice guy. Be kind, be gentle, be a nice guy. The root word of Shiva means kind. Where's my bag? Here it is. Be kind. You see where it says be kind and all the different rainbow colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, C, D, E, F, G, A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U is the rainbow. It's your chakra system. You're nothing but a light ray, people, thinking in solid form, thinking and believing you're here in this frequency dimension at this time. Swallow that one. Okay. Here's the term. Term Shiva means connected, liberation, final emancipation, and auspicious one termed evolved. I went, wow! We're going to have a shift of energy here. We're going to be emancipated from this hellhole that has been happening around us. What they're trying to get you to believe is true. Because the more fearful, the more disconnected, the more they have you. But you can cut it, by the way. If you do things and crush your belly button, you like cut the string to whatever you're upset about. You deliver yeah, it's a delivery. Yeah. It's a delivery. So, auspicious deity who is the creator, reproducer, and dissolver. So I'm dissolving my own fears, insecurities, in believing that we are moving into an altered reality because we are splitting, people. There's 3rd dimension and we're moving into the 5th dimension, and not everybody is going to move to the 5th dimension. So what you have in your thoughts, in your heart, is what you are spewing into the universe. And so ground yourself, get yourself in touch with thyself, and you'll find a difference in what gives and goes, because we are more powerful. Don't give your power away. And know that Mary brought a lot of brilliant people together. When I look around, in fact, I go around and says all my friends are geniuses in their field, and they are. They even think I'm smart. So I have a TV program out there in Waterford, and this is what I've learned through the TV program. You know, we all send frequencies out, so I purposely, with intention, send a frequency through the TV that comes and unites people. And that's what I get out of people when they talk to me about the show. It informs them, but calms them. As things start multiplying, We're a bunch of popcorn seeds. Put a little heat underneath us and we turn into something big and tasty. So, just takes a little heat to warm us up, and we can change our preference of our thought wave. Because remember, your thought wave is what you're wearing. All this isn't here just because you ate too much pasta. We emotionally are protecting ourselves when we add weight to ourselves. I watched my belly go. I went, oh God. Yeah, well, I was blowing up. I wanted to talk and I couldn't. So, give yourself credit that you've got more power than you think you are, and you don't have to wait for somebody else and think, oh, they're smart or they've gotten more knowledge. You're no different than me. That's what we're all picking up the same signals. It's you're watching channel 2, you're watching channel 10, and you're watching who knows what. It's being downloaded with data and information. So, I must thank Dean, God bless Dean, because he was my charge. Him and I were buddies. And I get a lot of credit for things that day Mary called me up and said, Sandy, I need your help. I gotta get Dean out of that nursing home, and he can't lift his head off the pillow or walk, and he's got to walk out of there to be able to get out of there. Oh boy. So you never know what you're capable of doing until you do it. With intention, and my intention was to get him out of there. So within 2 days we had him walking out of there. And he had a blast here, running around the cart, and his grandsons drove him all over the place. You'd never known that the man couldn't move 3 days before that. So, intention is everything. And if it's your intention to feel sad, and believe me, I went through a time where I just became a what do you call it, hermit. Now I take care of my 101-year-old mama, but that doesn't stop me from going places and doing things. Her and I take off and we do this, or we go to the pool and do our thing and so on and so forth. But I'm capable of getting away in that, but that had nothing to do why I had no jiff to want to do nothing. It's like, Jesus, like you got, what I got, Epstein-Barr or something. I just don't give a shit. And so, these things can pass too, but there's a frequency happening and going on in this world that is just very different. How many people are all of a sudden going tired, got lack of energy? Wow, I'm a bulldozer type. I'm the one that never gets down, but I don't have enough energy sometimes. I lay down in the afternoon. So things are shifting, things are changing. That's the bottom line, as is. But you're in control. As bad as things seem out there in the world, and as afraid as you want that what are they going to do to us now? Just remember, what you thinketh, you receiveth. So stop thinking the fearful thinking, and say stop. This is the one thing people don't know. Our brains, an attitude, we have habits. And when you say something, I want you to learn and say stop. And I want you to do it in a low tone. You ever notice that they never listen to Mom when she's talking, but they always listen to Dad? It's because when you're in low tones, that's when the brain wakes up and pays attention. But if I'm screaming at you, it just goes, hey, let's get pizza tonight. All right, no, okay. No, so when you want to make a statement, you go in low tone. And you feel the difference in what happens and how you feel. But that's all it's all about, is making yourself feel better. You feel better, everybody feels better around you. Oh God, Ma's in a good mood today. So, we all had to come here. This has been like a major big reunion. It's so good to see all these people we were all young people with. and that was 30 years ago that first came here. Well, anyways, so this has been a school of the universe, and Mary has set a precedent here that has affected multitudes of lives, spread all kinds of good energy. Just remember, you're powerful. You are that waterfall that's going in. If a butterfly's wings can affect what's going on, so can you. Do not let them think you are lesser than or you're not as powerful than others. And I want to thank you for coming here today and listening to me, and know that, oh, I have one other thing. I have to share something. I don't know how many of you remember Gandalf.
Oh, yeah.
God bless Gandalf and his lovely lady there. Gandalf taught me about the glial system, and it changed my world. It changed the way I taught. It explained so much, and it is such a privilege to be given, thank you, his hat.
Oh, that was good.
And so this is Gandalf's hat, so I am as smart as Gandalf now. Oh. God bless, and thank you for coming. Okay, she's got one more thing to say. Does that surprise you?
Oh. The rub of the atom.
She can out-talk me, and I can do good.
Okay, so we have to tell them what Mary told us to come on and say.
What did she tell us?
The day that, okay, we live a mile away from each other. Oh, I seem to be taller than this lady.
Well, just
Well,
talk.
look at this.
Yes.
We live a mile away and we play, and it took, I moved because I was told to move near water. I was in a condominium, I had retired, I loved it, and I heard move where there's water. I learned a long time ago, quit arguing. I started looking. Guess who lives near the water?
On the water. Literally.
I was born in Detroit, which is Wayne County. I moved to Macomb County, which she later tells me we've been bouncing around each other.
She was on one corner and I was on the other corner. We've been
for
sitting.
years.
Yes.
Not knowing.
Not knowing.
Now I'm in Oakland County, where she comes from, which ends up to be near Highland, Michigan, the highest spot in this lowland Michigan, where the watershed comes down
Right past my house.
M59 and goes towards the Great Lake of Huron, occupies a lot of the Detroit River. I eventually found a house that if I needed water, I could take a wagon and a bucket. Her sister lives on this lake, which is on a tilt from where I live, less than 2 miles away.
It's a glacier lake. That means the
Glacier
water
lake.
is coming up from the ground from the glacier. It's glacial water. So we've got water coming up and we've got water going down.
And we talked to Mary, and she said for some reason we're observing this water. And again, like, I don't remember his name, Mashimoto or whatever, that did the pictures about whatever. I actually met him, the most quiet, conservative man I've ever met in my life. But pictures, her and I live a mile away. I wanted to put a labyrinth in my backyard. I told Mary that if you put a sacred symbol on your land, my Toltec elder told us stories. He would come, it was oral tradition, that even a tornado will honor a teepee, a medicine wheel, whatever. So he says they'll just go around it. So I knew I'd have this large lot, larger than I ever wanted to do by myself. It took 4 years. The lesson of observation and learning where you were. I knew within 4 years where the sun came up in the summer and where it set, and when the moon would jump, Vicki, and I don't understand this, front to back or right to left, I just went, all right, I think I'm in between something. I made the labyrinth. I had this lovely lady and 3 others come and break it in. I didn't know what I was going to make it of, but I knew the numbers I wanted. It took 4 years. I sat down on May 15th and drew it. It was 9s, 6s, 3s. That's what I've been working with my whole life. Fun, finally have the labyrinth. I wanted a bat house. It took 5 years for me to have a tree that was dying cut. And when the man went up this tree, I thought, give me a 10-foot, because in my ignorance, I thought that's all I needed for a bat house. I had these guys come one day after we had a storm and asked me about cutting down my tree, and I went, well, you're coming up my driveway. They were on my land so quick that my neighbor came by and went, I saw that. As the man was up the tallest 50-footer that was dying anyways. I'm talking to my grandson and he goes, you want me to cut it here? And I just went, no. I didn't say no, I just said, I looked at him and I went, at your knees. Don't think. I had my lovely tree, my neighbor wondered why. I looked at this and thought, wow, this is beautiful. So I have a labyrinth here. Props, and I have the tree here. And one day I say, hey, that bat house looks like too tall. If I put it there, the kids can't run around there. So I said, let me measure the 3, 6, 9s, 12s of this. I measured it was 9. And the minute I realized 9, I could feel it go, kaboom, ignite it, and I felt it go to her place. And I went, Sandra, oh. I said, Sandra, just guess what happened, whatever. And we laughed because when she found those 3 things in the winter, this happened in the spring. So we said, okay, that was kind of great. But then what happened in my yard after that was unbelievable. I have a lot of things in my home that will try to keep errant things away from me. I have never lived in a house that had 2 smart meters. And that spring, it happened this year, when that clicked, I felt something move. The reason I got this house was that I dreamt there was a native sitting in front of a fire facing south. I knew that house would come to me because I had moved by water. When that happened, I look out my window every day and the birds are coming and they're fighting to make a nest on 2 smart meters. And some little wren was trying to get a robin off. I had a rabbit at the same time making a burrow in front of that 9-foot whatever. And I went, there is birthing going on here. This is activated amongst everything that were happening. So that's when we joyfully call Mary and go, Mary, you're not gonna believe this. And of course she told us about the motor that it was. And as we've said before, come as a child and be surprised. But the other thing I promised I would do, and I was so grateful, on the Zoom meeting Mary asked me to be on, and I saw how our matriarch was losing a lot of strength. I then talked to John and said, what can we do, John? And he said, how about a labyrinth? And he talked about tachyon energy. And a labyrinth, this is the only time I'll say this out loud, what I have found to have happen will take you instantaneously out of 3D. I've seen it happen more than once. It's the explanation for when I've seen pictures taken of people walking it, they'll be blurry. And I once gave that to a class and said, here is a copy of AARP. You see this blurry lady? You see this straight lady? That was when people started to realize there must be something going on the pattern. So I also asked people, and Mel and Pat were very helpful, let's send out a call for a concentrated prayer for the next 30 days for Mary and her heart journey. And at that time we realized many people weren't aware of it, so we just said, this isn't the time to question her about it. At that time we don't even know what the surgery is. She is the matriarch. And if she's weak, it means all of us have not been paying attention. And this is where the traditional side comes in. When you do not pray on the land, the people on the land suffer. And I ask people to please try to do it for 30 days. If you forget it, oh, what is time anyways? But I also said if anybody had received that email and wanted to share what it felt I would be open to have this mic just have someone talk about it. So anybody that would have traced the labyrinth and prayed for Mary, if you're on the Zoom, you can see the difference in her. You can absolutely see. Don't forget what our words say, and the words we say here go on the land. She wants us all to get along, and she wants us all to remain family. So this little imp. So I said to her when she was going to talk about Shiva, I said, dun 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 dun, Shiva time. Thank you, sweeties.
Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure being here.